What's up, everybody? This is a very special impromptu episode of Enlightened Masculinity. I'm Yogi Chris, PH, motherfucking D, founder of Ninth Limb Yoga and captain of IMC Nation. One of two captains now. There's recently a rank up. Somebody got rank of captain, so he's second captain, I guess. I don't know. We're both first captains. I don't know. Yeah, when you post the Zoom link here on Instagram, it's not clickable, so that's why you got to go to the Telegram groups. So this episode, there was a lot of powerful things that I wanted to share, and it's maybe even too valuable for everybody, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it. There's going to be two topics that I'll cover. One is communication, which is a very general word that a lot of people, in the world, I mean, there's degrees in communication. Lots of people think that they focus on communication. They want to get better at communication. I don't know that people can define it very well, and that they know how to improve it. They don't even understand, like, how do you improve communication? There are I could think of 1,000 ways, probably, no problem. Down to voice training, articulation, reading a dictionary, getting more vocabulary. And then so many elements of communication, body language and avatar, tonality, facial expressions, eye contact, proximity, just so many things. But thinking that communication is transferring these ideas over there so that you get it. And then transferring back to me that you got it. Because if I never hear back or find out that you got my message, then I'll never know. I don't know, keep communicating. I'll keep saying the same things and you got it, but you never told me that you got it. And so I'll keep, so the communication is a full cycle where I send it, you get it, and I get that you got it. And so that's what communication is. And I'm going to say something in this very brief show that's going to help everybody in communication. And I encourage you, as a man, you should be on Midday Gospel. If you're on Midday Gospel, you should be on Origins, because to do Origins is going to give you everything you need to do advanced training. You need that because it roots IMC Nation to you. Kind of like if you're doing pickup, you root the opener. What does that mean? Like if I open somebody and I'm like, hey, do you brush first or floss first? It's a compelling opener, but why are you asking me? That's where you got to root it. I'm asking you because we're having a debate, and the winner gets a drink, and I'll get you a drink if I win. So you should. I want to know. It's something. It's a root. Or somebody asks you, "What do you do for a living?" And you could say, "I sell philosophy lessons." Boring. Or you could root it. They say, "What do you do for a living?" Well, check this. I never knew what I do now that this is what I would be doing. Like I thought I was going to be a soldier when I grew up. I was a Boy Scout in training. Then I thought I was going to be a professional wrestling coach, like not WWE, but like Olympics. Like I was going for that. Then I thought I was going to be a PhD scholar, and I was going to be a musician, and I was going to be, and then I was a yoga instructor. I mean, I made all that stuff. But now what I do is like, I mean, it sounds boring. I sell like online teaching, but I'm like all about it. And it's a particular thing. And so that's what I do now. So I rooted what I do so the person has reality. Now they can walk with me. I can walk them through my life. Whereas before, my life wouldn't make sense to them. I'd have to give them the whole backstory. That's the root. You give them the backstory so that what they hear present time makes sense. So when I say to somebody about prospecting, they know that I started a business from zero to hero in yoga, like nobody on earth had ever done. So it has the roots. Okay, so the Origins is the roots of IMC. That's where you're going to get why it is the way it is now, why the structure, why the ranks, why the various trainings, why the certain disciplines in the process, and it'll make it make sense to you, and you'll get it. And that's what makes you it's not just eligible, it's not just qualified, but it makes you ready to learn the advanced stuff. So if you're on Midday Gospel, I recommend Origins. If you've done Origins, like two of you have, and I recommend advanced training. AZD'S sent me a screenshot of one of the guys on, and he was like, you got to get this beta guy on fucking Animus. Because of an Instagram post that was made. So, that's what I'm told behind the scenes. And then I come to you and I'm not going to tell you, hey, you're beta, you got to get on Animus. I got to translate that into somehow getting you on. But that's what you're thought about. That's how you're thought of. So advanced training, and everybody can change. Like I was telling my girl, she was like, well, what about when you used to say this and now you say something different? I was beta. I was angry. I was jealous. I was insecure. I was emotional. I may experience emotions now. I may even react once in a while, and I'll correct it. but it's night and day. I'm so different. I was beta. I said something 3 years ago in a lecture, it was beta. Or it came from a beta place. Maybe the data was correct, but the way it was said and what was heard, which brings me to the main point of the first point. I had 2 points I was going to make, and the first one was all about communication. So the main point about communication is that what you're saying versus what's being heard is different. You get it? You're saying something, but they're hearing something different. And that's happening left and right, time after time, on the sale, at work, relationships, mom and dad, the fucking person down the street, anybody you cold approach, you're saying one thing, but what are they getting from it? What's the message they're getting from what you're saying? And you could be there saying, well, my intention was this, and if they don't understand me, if they don't get me, then that's their loss. Cool. That would definitely be true if you were like one of the highest value people on earth. But if you're not, then it might be your loss that you're not being understood. You might be creating frustrations for yourself, which is wasting future time. So out of respect for yourself and love for yourself, and that you only have precious moments here, they notice how you feel before you even talk, though. Sometimes, yeah, they notice something. They're noticing something. I don't know that they're noticing how I feel. They're noticing how they feel when they see me. How can somebody really notice how another person feels? They can see their facial expression, how they hold their body, how they're breathing, what the sound of their voice is, and they can try to interpolate or somehow figure out, triangulate, how is that person feeling based on what they're communicating? And that's what I'm saying, that what is being said, or rather what is being heard, is often different from what's being said. And then there's even a further difference. What is being said may not be what the person is trying to say. So you have some idea that you're trying to express. It comes out and you don't say it right. Have you ever done that where it's like, man, I don't know how to say this. I don't like how I said that. That's not exactly right. You say something, but you don't say it exactly right because you don't know how. You're trying to figure out the vocabulary in your linguistic center. How do I translate this idea into accurately translate this into the right words, the right package of communication? Then you have to deal with this variable that they may not get what you're saying. Even if you say it to a T, perfect geometry. It's like mathematical perfect. You say it perfectly, they still don't get it. So there's those two variables. You have the variable of what am I trying to say? And it comes out, I didn't say it right. Maybe you say it right and they hear it and it goes in, they didn't hear it right. And you're like, fuck, my message gets lost before it even gets to them. Well, that's the skill of communication. Because if you want to raise up in power, you need to raise up in responsibility. And raising up in responsibility means taking responsibility for getting understood. Word, alchemical word. You should be on the Zoom link, dude. This Zoom link, dude. This the phone's about to die, and it's a little too far from. I mean, I could switch sides, but I don't want to. You should just join the Zoom. So I'm going to do the second half of this. Actually, I'm going to cut off Instagram. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. And you should fucking be on my Telegram groups. Ladies, Ninth Limb Yoga Telegram group. Fellas, Ninth Limb Yoga or Enlightened Masculinity Telegram groups. All right, that's it for Instagram. Os, hop on. He said he'll hop on. Whoa, dude, way to go. Set a new personal record by seeing how many weeks in a row you can go live. That's so gay. Okay. So I'll do the description for this later, probably while receiving the back rub. Does any of the guys, I'm curious, do any of you guys feel uncomfortable when a guy winks at you? Not in a homosexual way. No, like he's not winking at you like he's trying to get with you, but like he does sometimes guys, they feel cool and they have like some insider's secret communication, or they're saying something and they want you to know that they're doing it like in a way that's like that there's some conspiracy between you and them. Yeah. And they do a wink and it always feels uncomfortable for me. I never like a guy winking at me, even if it's just, man, it just feels weird. That is weird. Honestly, I feel weird when a girl winks at me. It feels like they're like trying to I don't even think I can finesse me or something. Whatever, doesn't matter. Maybe that's my own hang up. Okay. So just understanding this distinction should improve your communication. Now, what we've done recently on the messengers training. So after origins comes the advanced program. After the advanced program, or concurrently, but I mean, it's like a ladder. Concurrently means at the same time. So there's midday gospel, entry level program. Then there's origins. That's the roots of IMC Nation. That's the mid-level program. Advanced program, currently it's called Chosen. That's the advanced tech. That's so much inner mindset, and I mean inner, like as opposed to outer mindset. There's so much inner work, mindset, philosophy, way more than midday gospel, more than origins. Actual techniques, case studies, examples, you'll change through all that. Above that is business mentorship, which is available to everybody. So it's actually more like parallel. You don't have to do Chosen to do business mentorship, but do one and you're going to really want the other. If you try to do AZD's business mentorship, you're going to really want the Chosen tech. And there's actual tech. There's processes, things you go through with your mind and thoughts and way to translate experiences. Like what? Like what? That's not for you to know. Oh. I do it anyway, and I teach you what you need to know. So you don't need to worry about what we go over. I know it's so enticing. I make it so enticing. So I'll say one thing. So let's say, well, this is also a free stream. Okay. So let's say, I'll just say it in general, like Chosen Tech will give you technology of the mind, ways of thinking that will help you release your ego and connect more to whatever this higher power God is.
I want that. Everyone should want it.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean. I don't mean like literally, but
yeah, you need to watch your language. Yeah, don't worry about it. Just I'll do my thing, and yeah, you don't worry about it. Ooh. You'll also get a sense of right and wrong and where that comes from for you. Like, girl was rude to me 10 minutes before the stream. And I said, where did you? And she's like, it's not rude. And I say, it is rude. She's like, it's not rude. And I say, where did you get your sense of rude from? What's rude and what's not rude? How do you know what's rude and not rude? Okay, so when you tap in, you'll be able to discern that. Because when you're rude to another one of God's creations. God doesn't want you to be rude to his creations, to be disrespectful to his creations. You're not going with spiritual law to be disrespectful to God's creations. Spiritual law will go against you, just like if you were going against gravity. So it's very important because you have a sense of right and wrong in you, or a connection to where that comes from, and Chosen Tech will help us with that. Okay. And then there's business mentorship. Above all of that, what I was saying all of that for, above that is the messengers training. And it just came from a very powerful messengers training. And, you know, that's by inquiry only. So distinguishing, and I'm just giving you kind of some of my takeaways from it without trying to teach you what was in it. So if you're getting something from this, this is a very dim and distant reflection of what was taught and what I learned from it. This distinction between the message and the communication. You're saying something, but are they getting it? And are you getting that they're getting it? And taking responsibility for that. If you want to succeed in life and come up and people follow you, you take responsibility for being understood. And if you don't, then you're going to be frustrated left and right. And that's going to take away any frustrations or entanglement. It's just going to take away from, you know, what you're trying to create. You want it as frictionless as possible, just moving, gliding. Okay. So if there's any questions on that or anything, then obviously, you know, comment. I'll just get into my second point. And why I say there was a second point I wish they were related because it would probably be a more powerful podcast, and maybe I'll find a way to relate it. But the second thing came from just kind of shifting gears. We've started this Warrior Art Center. I'm co-owner of this, brick and mortar building here in San Jose, California. Warrior Art Center, teaching martial arts and wrestling and yoga and kickboxing and whatever. And so it's great. It's been a long time since I taught yoga in person to people. And it's amazing to see, the effects. I'm so familiar with the effects that I forgot the effects. Simple effects like releasing tension from your forearms and your breathing starts getting deeper. And it's little things that we take for granted. People that maybe have never released tremendous tension from their forearms. So one of the lessons that I learned, or that I, I was reminded of when I saw that, was how much tension inhibits the flow of energy, of breath, of circulation, of blood, even lymph. Lymph is like kind of like immune system fluid that you have like pipes through your body, kind of like blood, but it's lymph. So you have lymph nodes, anyway. And tension inhibits all of that circulation. Releasing tension lets the energy flow. A lot of times when you release tension, and I just realized this, I think this morning, your blood pressure drops. When your blood pressure drops, the air goes out of your brain because the pressure drops. You don't have as much being pushed into your brain. So when your blood pressure drops, you get tired. Might be why people like pass out when their blood pressure drops.
Make a lot of sense. My blood pressure is like 90/60.
I don't know what these numbers mean.
It just means super low all the time. Like sometimes it drops to 80. Like my standing blood pressure all the time is like 90/80 over 50/60, but I think regular is like 120/80.
I don't know what these numbers mean.
Like 120/80 means that's like standard blood pressure, but like when it's below 180, it's low. And when it's like someone who would have high blood pressure, it would be like 160/120. Then that would be too high.
Yeah. So seeing the effects when you release tension, because I saw these participants of my yoga class get very tired. And it was great that I was there as the teacher, and it was so flexible in the structure of it, because it happened at different times. And I let them take Shavasana, and they both fell asleep while I taught the other one. And that's very rewarding, that because the person needed sleep anyway. They needed to sleep. They were too stressed. And by showing some movements that took effort, because it takes effort to stretch, it takes effort to work out the tension in your muscles. So by putting in energy, you reclaim energy. It's kind of like you have an oil reserve under the ground, and you got to spend some energy to go get it. But once you tap in, then you release all this energy. You have access to all this energy. So it takes some energy to tap in, and then you end up releasing boundless energy. There's a lot like in the beginning, in the beast process, which Origins originally emphasized the beast process. Now that's a side note. There are some people that will go into the beast process. We have a lot more information on the beast process it's called the phase 1 product. So it's a compilation of 7 of the best phase 1 camps. And that'll give you all of the deepest information on the calisthenics routine and the prison workout and all of that mentality, the stoicism and everything. But now Origins is more focused on rooting the evolution of things. But in the calisthenics in the beginning, there were a lot of guys that were kind of stagnant. I mean, I wasn't nearly as active as I was as a college athlete, and it had only gone downhill since being a wrestler. I mean, I did a lot of yoga, but that's a particular kind of exercise. I wasn't getting the full experience of what my body could do. No weightlifting, no real heart pumping, no cardio like that, like when we talk about low blood pressure or something. So a lot of guys in the beginning, they start doing the calisthenics, and they actually unleash a lot of energy because they have a lot of tension. They don't, you don't have to work out to be tense. There's a lot of people that have tense, short muscles, but they're weak. They don't work out, but they're still tense. And there's a lot of tension throughout your body because your whole circulatory system, cut it out. The whole circulatory system, thousands and thousands of miles in your body, has muscles around it. And those are tense. So you're in air-conditioned environments your whole life, and all of the muscles that line your blood vessels are tense. They're very small muscles, they're tubes, but it is smooth muscle and they're tense. And that's inhibiting energy flow, blood flow, lymph flow, circulation. So those initial workouts where you really push and all the blood vessels dilate and you get all vasculated out, even when you calm down, now the blood vessels return to their normal size, but they've released tension. There's a flexibility. The blood can flow. The pressure decreases, blood pressure decreases. And you unleash a bunch of energy. You may get tired because the blood flows out of your brain or whatever, but when you wake up from that nap, you'll have a lot more energy. So, two kind of seemingly unrelated topics. I don't know that I can really relate them. I mean, obviously, tension inhibits your communication. You might have tension in your face where you have that like chronic scowl. You might not even be feeling mean or agitated or whatever, but if you just hold a scowl, that's going to be communicated and people will think, what's wrong with that person? Why they have a problem with me or something? You know, that's an example of tension inhibits your communication. The message won't be received. And we're doing that in 1,000 different ways. It doesn't have to be the forehead scowl. It could be the curl of the lips. They're very subtle. You know how you can subtly tell if someone's like just kind of smirking just a little bit. You just tell just a little angle of their lip and you're like, I can tell that person's kind of smirking. We have all kinds of little things going on that we forget that we're doing because we're so used to it. We carry it with us. And, you know, sometimes in the moment, our emotion kind of distracts us from objectively seeing ourselves. I mean, it's probably not even possible to fully objectively see ourselves. But, you know, when we're having heightened emotions, we don't see things. And it doesn't have to be negative emotions. You can be so excited about something that you lose perspective of what you're communicating. So tension and communication, very related, or the release of tension, relaxation, and communication, very related. And so that's pretty much the message for today. Are there any questions on that or comments?
That was a very nice talk. You made a really good point about the when someone's tense and they talk, you can feel it, because I think I have that problem.
Maybe, yeah, you sound good right now and you look relaxed. So I don't know what's going on there, but if it resonated with you, then I mean, I think it's a pretty universal truth among humans. And you know, I've been doing this a long time. I've done a lot of podcasts. Kat's here. She's probably heard me say that same teaching 13 times at least. And right?
2,000 dozen.
2,000 dozen. She's always got to go over the top with me because to emphasize how loyal of a student she is, that she's seen 2,000 dozen times, as if I've taught it. Literally 2,000 dozen times. You know how many 2,000 dozen is? That's 24,000 times I've taught it. Dang. You'd think she'd get it by now.
Sir.
Right on. Nick, you gotta join up, man. Jesus Christ. Join up. What's up, Saber?
We are so blessed to be in your presence while you teach.
Wow, thank you.
This moment of time. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I don't even know how to take that. I'll just thank all praises to God, to the God. Cool. Anything else? No, I keep it vague. This is a free podcast. And it's not even free. I pay the podcast platform to post the podcast. So that's what it is. I'm promoting IMC Nation. Go to imcbase1.com. See all the trainings there. Midday Gospel, Origins, Chosen. The business mentorship doesn't have a page right now, so that's just by private inquiry, really. I've posted it everywhere, so you should know about it. If you want to make more money, and you want to know how to ethically integrate your money with your game and your lifestyle, there's no other place to look. There's no other place to get it. No one else is doing it. You're going in circles. You're going in the wrong direction if you're not learning from AZD and IMC Nation how to do this stuff. And you'll discover that for yourself, and that's fine. If it takes a year, 10 years, 10 lifetimes, you'll come around, because we're right. Until I find something better, we're right. It's like when you have the winning chess move and the guy is just delaying. You're like, but I'm playing 300 chessboards, so I'm not like dependent on you to take the move. I got a lot of games going. But I mean, you either got to get up and walk away from the game or make the move, because the winning move is coming. I already know. I'm already ahead. Well, you had your hand up.
Yeah, what if you, after rest, feel more tired?
Well, there are other variables besides just tension. So, thoughts can be draining, certain thoughts. Who knows what you're thinking? Well, check yourself. What are you thinking? There's the possibility of, you dreamed something, and people wake up, and that's what it means. Like, wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Like, you went through an experience when you were sleeping, and you may not remember it, but the body was experiencing it. And so that's why you need a morning process. Eventually, when you clear, like if you wake up after rest, you release tension and you fall asleep. And then you wake up from that and you're, more fucked up than you were before you started. Then understand that there's a mental aspect to your energy level also. It's not just physical. So you definitely took care of some physical things. And it's only evolution is one direction. You don't go backwards. So even though it may feel like I'm regressing because I'm having a down moment, that's not true, because you're more aware than the last time you were down. You're moving forward. And you go through highs and lows. Those are the cycles of life. There's seasons to the day, to the year, to everything. So when you do the right things and things aren't going your way, then you have your thumb on some other variables here. It's, and so you just keep doing the right thing, which would be handle your mindset. How do you handle your mindset? Those are, 1,000 techniques, which aren't even really techniques. Those are just, handle your life. Are you hungry? Clean up, organize, plan, strategize, have a plan. What's your schedule? What's the next thing? Where are your responsibilities at? What are some things you enjoy to do? Is now the right time to do them? Do them. Like, so I don't even know if those qualify as techniques. Those are just like handles. Like a year or two ago, I was really fascinated with this word handle, like to handle a situation or to have the proper handling for a situation. Like, let's say you have a headache. The handling is take an ibuprofen. Let's say you're low energy. The handling might be, a cold shower or some breathing or some coffee or whatever. Like, you have handles for situations in life. So, you could call it a technique, but let's say you wake up low energy or whatever. You just have different handles for whatever condition you find yourself in. You handle it and you create them as they happen, because you're never going to have experience with every situation that could come up. New things happen that haven't happened to you before. So you just handle them with, your wisdom and intelligence, and that's the thing to do. Okay, that's over talking. Thank you, everybody, for attending the stream. I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully see you on Origins. Go to imcbase1.com. Os.